All right. Welcome, folks, to another exciting edition of Hindsight. That's right, the podcast, the martial arts podcast, informing you on current events, how to keep yourself safe in those everyday events. And we're going to be, as usual, Monday morning quarterbacking these media events. I've got on the line with me Sensei Buddha, host and co-host, Mr. Suave, on the line. How you gentlemen doing?
We're good. Chilling here. What's up, fellas?
Okay. All right, well, let's get to it. Today's podcast, do as I say, not as I do, or I will kill you. In Houston, Texas, Debra Davis, age 58, is charged with the shooting murder of Rodney Johnson, age 49. Davis is currently held on $50,000 bond in Sunnyside, Texas jail. Davis went to Johnson's home, where they had an argument in the street. Davis pepper sprayed Johnson, got in a car, and drove a short distance. And this is where things went left, so to speak. She then made a U-turn, returned to Johnson's location. At the time, Johnson was wielding a bat, but didn't swing it towards Davis. I guess he was just trying to use it in a threatening manner to keep her at bay.
Like I'm son.
She then shot Johnson and drove off. Oh, wow. Johnson subsequently died that night at Ben Taub Hospital. But here's the twist. Debra Davis was still married to her husband, Rogers Davis Jr. 30 years she's been married to this guy. And he actually suspected that she was cheating. Davis filed for divorce in September of 2016. So I don't know. It's unclear whether they were actually separated or not. But let's get to it. Who wants to go first? I'm thinking, you know what, Mr. Suave, go ahead.
Man, that's crazy. Heck up, son. Keep that arm's length, I guess. Man, this is some recklessness right here. These two individuals are too old for this nonsense. Way too old. 58, 49.
I agree.
Come on, man.
I agree.
Cut that out. You should be worried about your damn grandkids right now. You should not be discussing martial arts and how you protect yourself from some grandpas, man. Come on. But that's the case anyway. So we're gonna do our due diligence.
Let me interrupt right here. Mr. Suave, you got to understand that we don't discriminate here at Hindsight. If you are of the geriatric generation, we want you to listen too.
We want you to listen, but hang up your ID. Don't drive with you. That's why I'm opinion. That's all. Not the thoughts of everyone else. Just swap. Entertainment purposes only. Anyway, let's get back to it. Now that my coattail has been picked by beat physicists, but but yeah, man. So Debra Davis, she got way too emotional. So it seems like her and Mr. Johnson, they were doing their thing. I guess she was getting this was her side dude. This was her side nigga.
Yeah.
Because she was married. Whether, I think they said, the details of that, and blah, 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 whatever. But supposedly on paper, still they were married, still may have been living together, whatever. So whatever happened between her and the husband, what happened. But the fact is, she had this other dude. Who know how long she had this other dude? We don't know because we can't speak to Mr. Johnson or read his report on it because she smashed him. She killed him. So they had a dispute. They had an argument. He pulled out the bat. I don't know why he would do that to a female anyway. And
well, she did pepper spray him. So
I mean, but you know, there's so many different levels of pepper spray. How old was that pepper spray? Was it like was it military grade? Was it law enforcement grade? Was it still potent? I mean, was he even bothered by it? You know, because if he pepper sprayed in the back when it hit, it might have hit her. She could have been bothered by it. There's so many factors we don't even know about that pepper spray. Like shoot, I gave somebody pepper spray. That thing is like 15 years old. You think it's as potent now if it hit somebody in the eyes? Nah. It might be like smelling some hot wings or something. There's a due date on that for a reason. So, you know, so she hit dude with the pepper spray. He's swinging his bat recklessly. She gets in the car. She flees the scene. You know what? If you're having to speak with somebody, you know what I say. Always call law enforcement if you guys can't handle it civilly as adults. And these guys have enough experience, and that's why I was focusing on these guys are too old for this. They have enough experience in their lifetime to know how to diffuse this and just part ways, and this wouldn't even be a story. You know what I'm saying? So that's why me hitting that earlier plays into it now. That's almost 100 years of experience between the two. True, that is over 100 years of life experience between the two for them not to be in this situation right here. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. That's facts. So she decides, all right, I sprayed him. He pulled the back. She got in her car. She bounced. You know what? That's done. It's over. Be about your way. It's over with. Why did she decide to come back and confront him again? You already pepper sprayed the dude. Sure, he's in the street now, waving the bat recklessly. Who cares? You're away from the threat, or you know you were the threat and you moved from the situation. It's over with. It's done. You know what led up to her pepper spraying him? We don't know. You know, we don't know that part. Did he try to grab her, and she couldn't roll her wrist to break his thumb and release the grip? You know, we don't know. Did he grab her by the shoulders? She couldn't afford roll or push him off? We don't know. Well, what we do know is that she pepper sprayed him, got in her car, and peeled out. The story should have been over, but it's not over. What Miss Davis did then is, you know what she said? I'm big, I'm bad, I'm that nigga. They call me Big Mama for a reason. You know what I'm saying? She went back, and to put it simple, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. Yeah, Mr. Johnson had to get shot up. And, you know, they didn't say how many shots were fired. They didn't say how many shell casings was found, how many holes he had in them. You know, some of these things are still, I guess it's still in the investigation. Should have been out by now, but, you know, these are things that's right there on the scene. I don't know why it's not out. Who knows? But the judge set $50,000 bond. I think a bond is like 2 to 3% of the bond. If I'm right, I'm not 100% sure. So that's only like a couple stacks or less to get her out, and she's free again walking until her court date or her date in court, as you like to say. After killing a man. That's crazy. I don't know what's up with this judge giving her such a low bond, low bail. I don't know if it's because of the age, or we don't even know if this is her first offense. Was she a career criminal? Did she have some priors when she was younger? But nonetheless, $50,000 for murder, man, that's like a contract killer. I get to kill somebody, get a little bond, a couple of stacks. Now I'm out free again until my day in court. I'm doing pretty good. I can even make up more of the story, because dead men don't tell stories. Just their body tells facts. But now I'm here living telling stories. And I could just add on to whatever facts you come against me and my lawyers. So it's messed up, man. Judge shouldn't have did that. Judge should have kept her locked away in the key. He should have put like $300,000 bond, $500,000 bond, because that dude, Mr. Johnson, you know, they say 40 is the new 20. He was about to be 50, so he would have been 30 in hindsight, according to Jay-Z. So he got cut short early. You know what I mean? Okay. And it's unfortunate. So she was in essence robbing the cradle. She came down to get that thing. She came down to get Mr. Johnson. She came down and they should get Mr. Johnson. We don't know how old her husband is. So she was getting two eggplants for the price of one, apparently. But one had to go.
Okay.
Once again, everybody, you know, some things Mr. Suave say are for entertainment purposes only. You know, death is never a comedy, but sometimes you gotta make some laughter out of a tragic situation, so you could take a point from each person. My thing about this is, man, it's really hard to determine. We don't know Mr. Johnson's activity level. Could he have tried to roll over the car? Could he have ran away? When she came back, was he still yelling? Or was he still reeling from the pepper spray? If he even did anything to him? Because as far as defensive tactics, he could have ran away, hide behind a car. Maybe he knows she had a gun. Maybe he didn't know she had a gun. If somebody's coming at you with a car, you don't just stand there. You're not the Terminator. You're not the Hulk. You're not Wolverine. You just can't cut the car in half with your claws. You know what I mean? Move. Get away. You don't just look at it. Say, yeah, what are you going to do? Nah, that's not how it works. Somebody coming with your car, that's vehicular manslaughter, attempted vehicular manslaughter. That vehicle is a weapon. That's a deadly weapon. And I'll say this again. I think I might have said it in another podcast from another show. Mr. Johnson had a firearm, and then he got in a shootout with Ms. Davis. You never want to be in a shootout inside a car. That is called a metal coffin, because you have no mobility, you have nowhere to hide, no angles. You're stuck in that driver's seat, and you are a plain target in that metal coffin. So she's lucky Mr. Johnson didn't have a firearm to light her up, and I'm pretty sure he would have got a high bond, maybe because he's a male. Pretty sure, from looking over things, I can assume maybe he's an African-American male, black male. I'm just going to assume that. But, yeah, man, it's unfortunate. It's crazy. And Sensei Buddha, what's your take on this? How you feel about this one?
Mr. Suave, you're 1,000,000% correct. 1,000,000% correct. This is one of the reasons why, just reading this article, and obviously it's a very concurrent article, the ages are wrong. To me, when you have somebody who goes ahead and murders another human being, because it's not like she was driving away and pulled out the firearm and shot him. She drove a little way back and came back. That was that decision right there in her mind to kill the man. Notice in the article, they don't say where he was hit. We had covered the other article from before where it talked about the gentleman being hit in the forearm and the torso and parts of the body. Here, we're not being told where he was hit. And just like you pointed out, we're not being told how many times that firearm was fired.
Ooh, you smelling cover-up? You smelling cover-up? Ooh.
But a low bail bond setting, a lot of times what they try to do is that they try to wash these things out to make this woman who is clearly a predator, who is clearly, just straight up hunting down a man. She hunted him down, and now they're trying to clean it up. I've never seen a bail so low for killing another human being. She came back. It wasn't just a crime of passion. She came back with the mission to kill him. Before, it was kind of fun and games with the pepper spray. I was laughing my behind off. But then when she U-turned, came back, shot him. He died later on that night in the hospital. My thing is this. Him being an old enough gentleman, he should have never even came out to the car. I can understand him, he may have wanted to say something, but to me, this could not have been the first time that they argued. And since you're in the state of Texas, I am more than sure that him and that lady, they have gone to the pistol range together, or he knew that she had a firearm. You don't want to test that. Just like the gentleman who went to evict those people in Florida, and you see him with a firearm on his side. Dude, just because it's a legal carry, I'm not going to take the chance that you're not going to be so enraged with me and have such petulance toward me that you're not going to pick up that firearm and go to work. If firearms are involved, I'm out of there. Just like how you said before, Mr. Suave, by her being in a car, he should have, to me, retreated to his home, locked the door, told his other lady, hey, sweetie, just duck down. I'm going to call the cops and, have them come over here to settle this, because you're too old. Even at 20 years old, you're too old to be getting into fights over, ex-lovers and stuff like that. And to me, it's crazy. I really want to find out if she has mental issues. That's one of the things, because this sounds like a little deeper. I didn't see anything with her with any past criminal records, I don't believe. but I really wonder if she has other psychosomatic issues. And hopefully they'll have other articles and we can follow up on this case, because everything here is ages are wrong. For her to come back and just shoot him, and then they're not talking about how many times she shot him or where she hit him. Because remember, if she shot him dead in his face or right in his heart, that's going to be like, wow, you really meant to kill him. So to me, they're washing that content right out to make her appear like, you know, how they'll have somebody, well, you know, I was just so mad and I just felt that I should. No, man, you're a criminal. You shot this man. He's dead. And we got some stories that are coming up later with some of the dudes, how they gruesomely killed their women. That is just beyond barbaric. But this case to me right here, there should be no wiggle room to say, hey, man, this was a crime that just happened on the spur of the moment. She drove away. She came back. She meant to kill the man. And by them not saying where she shot him and how many shots were fired, that's confirmed for me. You know, in my humble opinion. You know, as I see it. So what do you think, gentlemen?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I have no disagreement on the assessment. I guess where I'm looking from, I would like to ask. Okay, let's say our viewers end up in a situation like this, because you know this is at the beginning, like you said, this is a typical domestic situation. The cops get called on these all the time. So, as an individual, getting in a domestic dispute with a spouse, what's your, I guess, what would you advise the listeners to do?
First and foremost, Johnson, the deceased gentleman,
right?
His girl was already there. He had a girlfriend over there at his house.
Oh, wait a second.
He had a girlfriend.
Oh,
He had a
okay.
He had a side thing too. Okay, player.
All right. So now, so that's what prompted this. Okay, now I see.
The standoff. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. Now, this is my thing. This, again, and this is so wonderful why we have this venue to air this out and talk about it and hash it out. Cases that we're going to be covering not only from today, but even in the future. Sadly, there's going to be a lot of cases where there's another lover, or when you've broken it off, and you can say the tainted or lover coming back. First and foremost, you come out of that door. If you are a man or a woman. Second, if you are putting down your new partner there at the apartment or at your home, you never, ever come out. Because your primary goal is to protect the new partner. First and foremost, that new lady who's getting involved with you, that lady.
All right, you're coming in and out.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No matter what you tell your lady about that ex, I'm talking about from the man's point of view as well as from the
okay, we can't hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. What has to ultimately happen is if the lady is at my house and an ex is coming over with anger and vitriol, I got to make sure that the lady is secure and that she is safe. You open the door, you make sure that all access points to your home are locked down. So, in other words, unfortunately, since that lady had a gun, Mrs. Rogers, she shot into the apartment. But you gotta, it's so sad. Now you have to talk about barricading protocols and all kinds of things. She may have even wanted to have taken the car and tried to
all right, we're losing you again.
Can you hear me again? Can you hear me?
A little bit. Keep going.
Okay. But the thing here is this. You never ever come out. Make sure you protect your woman. And look, if it's a man,
Okay, let's pause for a brief commercial break. And welcome back, folks. Here, we're just going to close up our thoughts. Thanks for bearing with us during that commercial break. So, Sensei Buddha, in hindsight, what do you recommend?
Where a jilted ex-lover is coming back to your home, the first and foremost thing you want to do is secure your home. Make sure that the windows are locked, any access points are locked and shut down so they cannot get in. You most definitely want to make sure that your new love interest is safe and secure. Because remember, the person who's there in the home with you, they didn't ask for all the police. You got no choice. There's no choice in that now, especially when you're a man. You know, you can't just go out there and confront somebody. Right. I mean, what Rodney should have done was the minute he saw her drive off, he should have secured himself quickly in his home. I don't think, coming out with a bat to try to give a stance of intimidation, even though he didn't advance toward her, nor did he swing at her, according to the article. I still, again, I just would have made sure that I was inside the house with my new girlfriend and then let the police handle it. You barricade yourself in, and just in case she wanted to drive herself into the living room or hit your home with the car, that's just only going to go against them. Then you yourself, you barricade yourself to the best safe place in your home, and you pull out your firearm, whatever else you feel that you best serve to defend your love, and proceed from there. But you definitely call the police. You got to get them involved in that. You got to definitely get them involved in that.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Got another story where you have what could have been a typical domestic turned sideways. And you've got our take on the situation. I think we'll end it there. Mr. Suave,
Yes, sir.
any closing thoughts?
Yes, man. When you got over 100 years of experience of age between the two of you, cut that damn foolishness out. If you're going to skate on the side and do that shit professionally. Don't be shooting up, running over motherfuckers. That shit is unnecessary.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Beat Physicist. That was Mr. Suave and
Yes, sir.
Sensei Buddha.
Sir, yes, sir.
All right. And we're going to be signing off, folks. Catch us next time. Remember, the email address is thehynde@gmail.com. That's THEHYNDESITE@gmail.com. That's thehynde@gmail.com. With your suggestions, questions, and
Trolling.
Absolutely. We welcome most of it. All right. And see you later, folks.
Later.
Take care.